Hello.
Hello. Yeah, we just saw the Snow White and Huntsman movie.
It's raining. That's why we're in
my car.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Snow White and the Huntsman. It was a pretty movie.
Lights.
It's cool.
Yay.
Hey, you got the Fonz hit. It was a pretty movie. I mean,
it looked better than Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, costumes were nice.
It was gorgeous.
Awful lot of LeMay for
Yeah.
Middle Ages, but nice.
Holy shit, was it goofy?
Oh my!
I think I could have done a better Snow White though.
You could have done a better Snow White.
I can believe that, because I think you would actually put in a Prince Charming or something, and not just dirty Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, I thought he was saying he played better. I thought he said he better play Snow White in this movie than she could.
No, that is what I was saying. I'd play a better Snow White than what
I get to be the Wicked Queen.
All right.
I've been called a Wicked Queen, but not in that way.
We should definitely do it.
All right, I want to be the plot
By
advancement
a homophobic
birds.
Boston guy.
Okay.
Yeah, but the acting in this movie is just
Chris
dear.
Hemsworth was really, really good because he's Chris Hemsworth.
There were a lot of
awesome.
great actors.
He came out of this.
yeah,
with,
and I like who played William, even though he was barely in it. He was also pretty cool, but
But the two leads, Kristen Stewart and Charlize Theron.
holy
shit.
Seriously.
It was like a zombie.
It was awful. And, just the other day, I saw, Charlize Theron on Colbert Report, and I'm like, well, she's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll enjoy her in this movie. No.
See, the thing is, she's a good actress.
She is.
But she was terrible in this movie. She was trying to Nick Cage it. She was, talking normally and then, you know?
Yeah.
But she doesn't have the inherent awesomeness of Nick Cage. She can't pull it off.
I think that she was just way too emotionless. And if you guys know the stories of Snow White, I mean, I'm sure that some of you have, if you've ever actually read the books or anything, you would know that Snow White has a lot of emotional scenes in this movie. With her,
she's supposed to, anyway.
Yeah.
With her, it was almost every scene was completely emotionless, monotone.
And it looked like it was hurting her.
Yeah. Whenever she smiled, she looked like she was having a lot of pain.
Ended the movie.
Maybe a hemorrhage was happening or something.
Ended the movie, Kristen Stewart's getting her coronation ceremony where she's becoming queen. She sees Chris Hemsworth at the end of the aisleway, I guess, and she's trying to smile. It looks so painful.
And I also love how whenever anything dramatic was happening,
yeah,
right.
She did that thing where that actresses do in some movies, actors do, where they, to make something dramatic, they just sort of whisper. You know?
No, she was I think it was specifically to make her breasts jump up and down. That's what I was noticing in that.
Possibly. I did kind of notice her dress as the movie went on got lower and lower and lower.
Oh shit. Why did we cast her? Wardrobe, save us. Make this interesting.
I don't know why she was wearing pants. I don't think she had pants.
What the fuck was that?
Is it just so that when Chris Hemsworth cuts her skirt
halfway through the movie, the Huntsman ends up ripping Snow White's skirt off, and
so more
there's
not
pants.
as exciting as it sounds.
Yeah.
Right. There's pants.
Yeah.
Well, she's
wearing
pants
leather
earlier.
pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she jumps out when she first escapes, she jumps off that drainage thing into the ocean and her skirt goes up.
And she's
pants.
Leather pants.
Yeah. No reason, just pants.
Because you can't be a badass in a skirt. You can't be a hero in a skirt.
There's something really weird about this movie. It hates birds.
Yeah.
It keeps killing birds. It's weird.
Birds are either CG or they're dead, and Kristen Stewart's crawling on them, or Charlize Theron's eating their hearts.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And there's also this thing where they're showing wild animals. They'll be a rabbit or a badger or something. Clearly CG.
Everything.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Has CG gotten so cheap that it costs less than buying a fucking rabbit?
You can just throw those things everywhere. They reproduce 1,000,000 times a day.
I specifically feel that was a tribute to Disney, like la 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 la, like that kind of fruity whatever thing that they're trying to channel through that.
I can understand wanting to have a lot of whimsical foresty animals, but if you want to, you can find rabbits. They're still cute and whimsical.
They don't. It's not even like they make them do things rabbits don't normally do.
They hop.
Yeah, they just kind of stand there for the most part. And badgers.
Yeah.
And ferrets and turtles.
Well, the turtle was...
The turtle, to be fair, was mostly moss, and there was a snake that had moss and flowers on its back. That I can understand.
Yeah, but that was in the fairy woods, in the dark woods. It was pretty. It was. Well, that sequence was actually pretty good. Yeah, but I think it's kind of misleading in the trailers because they kind of imply in the trailers that this whole thing is going to be taking place in the dark woods.
Yeah.
And it's maybe 20-minute scene.
Yeah, and then
15 to
30 minutes into the movie.
10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And considering that was their entire justification for bringing in the only likable character, it's pretty weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something else in this movie is it has kind of an anti-love triangle. There's this dude, William, friends with Kristen Stewart when they were kids, clearly in love with her.
He's like the son of a duke or something like that.
Yeah. Then there's the Huntsman, who he's just kind of there. And
he's rough and tumble sort. Yeah,
he's the Han Solo
always
of this
drunk.
movie.
Yeah, and there's the subplot where his wife was killed by the queen, whatever it was.
Something like that.
And they don't reveal that until the very end. And that felt kind of cheap to me too. I have suddenly a motivation to go after this because this evil person killed my wife. And
they revealed that when he was talking to the brother.
The person who I call Prince Valiant because he has this really stupid haircut.
And he's albino and scarred.
Yeah, that's actually something.
He's creepy.
I couldn't figure something out about that scene. When he stabs him through with the tree trunk. Was it implying that the queen was withdrawing her protection from him? Or?
I think what they were saying is that she was trying to heal him,
or they're
but just couldn't do enough, and so then backed off when she realized there was no chance.
I think maybe the things she's healed him a bunch of times. They've grown
because
up together.
I could understand half of what they were saying.
She's probably made him younger along with herself.
Yeah,
so
otherwise she'd be
she clearly heals him at time to time.
She was having seizures and stuff. That's not just I know my brother is in danger and I want to heal him. That's part of me is being cut
ripped
up
off.
and tethered. And
So yeah, but he was. I actually kind of wanted him to be the final villain somehow. He was.
He had a real rapist vibe going on.
Yeah.
Well, he almost tried to rape Snow White.
First thing he talks to Snow White, she's lying on a bed for whatever reason.
I got that often when he grabbed her when she was 6. I'm oh, nothing good's gonna happen there. Yeah. What else?
Well, did we talk about the Miyazaki scene?
They rip off Miyazaki's visuals just book and verse here.
There's a scene where she's being led by these little white pixie things
that creep me the fuck out.
Yeah, because they crawl out of a bird's stomach. I mean,
they crawl out of the chest of the plot advancement birds that
they're bird chest bursters.
Here. If you go through here, you can get to the ocean. Now we're gonna lead you to a horse.
Yeah.
Plot advancement birds. I hate those fucking plot advancement birds.
Kristen Stewart lived her entire life locked in a room. She gets out. Immediately knows how to ride a horse bareback. Better than professional soldiers. That's pretty cool. That's insane homeschooling.
Yeah, honestly, I've ridden horses twice, and I've had saddles and reins and stuff, and they're not easy to control.
No, I think it's sort of desperation's best teacher.
Oh, okay.
But this scene, like I said, it was these little white pixie things lead her to this big deer with these huge antlers
that look like trees.
Yeah,
branches.
Yeah, so very very clearly Princess Mononoke.
Yeah,
and everything is made out of butterflies.
Yeah, it's a deer with wooden antlers,
and it gets
made out of butterflies.
Clearly coming from Princess Mononoke, because there was a deer with huge ass antlers,
and it gets shot in the neck, and
and the deer dies, and then they chop its head off, and so on and so forth.
Not in this movie.
Not
this one took like a corpse bride turn.
This one it turned into butterflies and flew away.
Yeah, this one they decided, you know what? We're gonna shoot this deer, which is supposedly the true life force of the entire world, and
something like that. There was a blind guy that's like, this thing is important.
Well, was blind.
He was blind.
You didn't see like his white eyes with like
the dwarf.
His eyes were glazed over.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
And
but the dwarves were really kind of superfluous characters anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you brought in Nick Frost, and you're not even gonna have him do anything.
Yeah.
You brought in, I can't remember the actor's name, but the Dream Lord. You're not letting him do anything, really?
Yeah, basically, I think the only reason they even had dwarves in this movie is because if they didn't, someone would have been like, "Oh, it's Snow White, and you didn't include dwarves."
Well, does the actual Snow White story include the dwarves?
Yes,
but they don't have names.
They're called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Even though there was technically 8 in this movie for some reason.
And then
because they knew they were going to kill one.
Yeah,
okay.
Which in the original story, the dwarves never die. The dwarves don't die. There was only 7. There was the Huntsman.
Did they ever actually give the Huntsman a name?
I don't think so.
No.
If they did, it was very quickly forgotten.
Huntsman.
We do know his wife's name, Sarah. So apparently the woman we never actually met is more central to the story to have a name than the actual main character.
They did give him a name. I don't remember what it was, but they did name him at the very first scene of which you meet him.
Shows you the impact. 3 of us don't remember that it happened at all, and the one that does remember can't remember what it was. So
I remember that scene is like drunken brawl, and then he passes out and then wakes up in a trough.
You know what it kind of reminds me of that performance. Guy Pearce from Lockdown. Remember, he was like, just sort of, I'm a badass getting my ass beaten or something like that,
Right.
Yeah, he didn't really win any fights in that movie, did he?
Yeah.
He won one, and that was because of a tree trunk that had no reason to be there.
It was so
there wasn't like a
coincident.
broken stump. It was just there and spiky as all fuck.
It was so coincidentally placed that it just had to happen, but then again, that is how it happened in the book too. So
really?
Yeah.
I would like it better if there was like a running wood chipper behind her.
I like wood chippers.
I like wood chippers.
That would be hilarious, but there would be no saving him from that.
Yeah, but still.
Well, that was his death scene anyway, so...
Yeah. But at least he could have possibly have been saved there.
Some of the other really goofy bits. Okay, there was a bit at the beginning, like really early, where Kristen Stewart is locked in this room. She's been locked there since childhood. And she has these little dolls she's made out of twigs, which I'm a little curious as to where she got twigs locked in a tower, but whatever.
As well as enough to make a fire?
Well...
They probably gave her some wood to make a fire.
But she takes them, and then she starts saying the Lord's Prayer.
And it's like, it's not like, there's something there like panning or doing a montage. It's like just her, oh Father,
like,
what it just
picks him up, looks at him, holds up your chest.
For some reason, Christianity existing in this movie is really
it just
off.
It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
But actually, what it seemed to me is that there was a lot of really good weird scenes where they would have nothing. Like, why did you shoot
Actually,
that?
if you notice, there was a lot of religious scenes in there too.
Well, what I'm saying is, like,
Snow White is like a Christ metaphor or something.
Well, it wasn't just Christianity. I mean, if you actually pay attention hard enough, I actually saw a couple different things in there. There was Christianity. There was a bit of Buddhist. There was a bit of shamanism.
Another goofy thing I noticed. It's been in the trailers, but like the evil queen takes a bath in like white goop. I don't even know what it is, but like
clay milk.
I think it was supposed to be milk, but
I don't know.
It looked more like latex paint.
It did, But
well, they make creamy milk. I don't know, but
I don't.
The whole point that she's trying to maintain her beauty and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But,
and I actually feel like this is like referencing an actual baroness in like.
Yeah, I know. What
there
you're
was
talking
that.
about.
Yeah, she like bathed in blood because it like made her youthful.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know if anyone that's going to be watching this in the future has ever seen the hentai lesbian ward. But there's a scene in that where like 2 of the nurses have to like take a bath that's just basically jizz in a tub.
Oh.
That's where my mind went.
I had completely forgotten about that one.
Oh, you've seen that one too?
I have seen that one.
Basically, like,
That
all
was
their lotions
awkward.
and shampoos and their bathtubs, everything is filled with cum. So that's where my mind went.
That
And
was
then and then it
awkward.
immediately cuts to it like emptying out and people running up.
Like buckets.
But what I was trying to say earlier is that like there's like this scene where like they're riding out to battle and like they're riding by and somebody cuts to the dwarf and says like go or something like that. Just like you really needed to film that. And it seemed like there was a lot of scenes like that where just like why did you bother setting up the camera?
Another really goofy scene for me came right at the end when she's confronting the Wicked Queen. And it's in this big round room, and there's a big open fire in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And she's walking around giving her, I'm so evil speech. And
Standing
she stands in
in
the
the
fucking
fire.
fire.
And it burns her.
And she's getting
Flesh is,
burned.
And then she goes back to youthful.
And then she like heals her. The fuck? That was so avoidable.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess the idea was like, her bile was like, rising to the top. So she was like, her physical form was manifesting the evil within, then reverting back to her facility.
Well, actually, they did actually put that in the books where she was standing in fire, and the whole reason for that was an intimidation tactic. You can't kill me. I am this. This is what I am. I am the embodiment of euthanism. I am the embodiment
Did they ever actually
of an
get
immortal
into
goddess.
how Christian Stewart killed her at the end?
You just stabbed
Yeah, well,
her
no.
'cause she had blood or something.
No, listen. Remember the Huntsman said, like, okay, so he's going to, like, come up top, so you block that, take a knife, you jab her.
Yeah, that scene didn't even
Yeah.
make sense until she
That
actually
didn't
stabbed
actually
the queen.
happen, though.
It did.
did.
She stabbed. No,
No,
it was-
she blocked, and then she stabbed her.
Well, remember when the Wicked Witch knocked her onto the ground and then got on top of her, and
She comes out with a dagger.
She's like, fairest
the,
blood be done
Yeah, no, I got that.
and stabbed down.
And she
No, but it
blocked.
was like
she blocked
the whole
it.
thing. The whole thing they said throughout the movie was that this was done to her by fairest blood and can be undone by fairest blood. But she just stabbed her.
Because, like,
fairest
she
blood
was so
be
pure
done,
for whatever reason.
Just that her
By
the blood was
fairest blood-
inside her.
No,
The whole thing was
camera's
by
fuzzy.
So what?
by fairest blood be done, by fairest blood may it be undone.
In other words, that Snow White was the one who had to stab her.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I
don't
was
even
looking
get
for
it.
something a bit more mystical than just shank the bitch. You know?
Well, actually, what I thought was going to happen at the end there was like, she stabs her and she's like, crawling away. Like I thought she was going to like show like some kind of act of kindness, and that was going to be finish her off.
That was the weirdest last line. She stabs the evil witch. She's dying. And she just comes up and says, "You can't have my heart." And she dies. It's such a fucking weird... I was totally expecting her to say, after she said, "You can't have my heart," her to say, like, "It belongs to someone else," or something like that.
Maybe. Or I was at least expecting, like, the evil queen to, like, explode into crows again or something.
Yeah.
Well,
But she
And then
just
the
got
crows,
old.
like, fly into a spinning blade, because this movie hates birds.
I mean, I have actually read Snow White and the Huntsman, and I know quite a bit of it, because that is actually one of my more favorite books. This movie actually screwed it up a lot. As always, a lot of movies really screw it up.
Yeah, the book was always
But-
better. All right.
No, most definitely.
So, out of 10, I give this movie like a 3. It's super goofy.
Yeah, I'd give it a 1.5. That 1 being because I don't think I can go lower than 1, and the half being because Chris Hemsworth was good.
Yeah, the action scenes were a bit lacking in some ways, but they were good enough for me to give it a 3.
This movie literally made me fall asleep.
Yeah.
I was about to fall asleep starting from 25% through the movie.
So out of 10?
So I'd have to give it about a 0.5 to a 1. I still think I could have done Snow White a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Like, actually playing Snow White. I think if I were to play Snow White, I could give it about a 6.
Snow White as a guy. That's
Like, there is one
Shakespeare
fairer
would
than
do
you.
it.
He's in
Well,
the
of course.
tower.
Remember,
Just make
back
the
in
whole thing a weird.
back in the
gay
old
pride
days,
metaphor.
well, remember this. Back in the old days,
yeah,
women,
it would
weren't-
have been played by a guy anyway. So yeah.
Yeah.
women never acted. So
Well, this was never a play though. This was
Yeah. This
true.
is-
This was a fairy tale.
So the movie is bad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's gonna make an awesome riff track.
It would. And my advice, if you get sucked into seeing it by somebody, or if you end up watching this, or you decide, maybe these guys are wrong and I'll go see it, there's a scene where Kristen Stewart is on a horse. She rides through a swamp. The horse sinks into the swamp and she tries to pull it out. Stand up and just scream, Artax, no! Don't let the sadness overcome you! Artax!
Okay, no, I think the stupidest scene had to be with the troll.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they go across this bridge, and they're going across it slowly. All of a sudden, the troll wakes up. The huntsman's like,
troll under
"Troll!"
Troll under a bridge, by the way, very original.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
very
just like,
original.
if there's
Totally
gonna be-
not Snow
please don't be a
White.
troll. Please don't be a troll.
I figured it was troll. So they say troll, and they start fighting it, and the huntsman tells Snow White to run, and she doesn't run. She just hides behind a tree. So he starts fighting the troll. The troll knocks
his
him
ass kicked.
down, and he's about to the troll's about to kill the huntsman. She runs out, screams at the troll. The troll screams back at her, and then I swear to God, with a hint, that troll blushed to Snow White and then sat back down.
Yeah,
To be
it just
fair-
kind of looked like, oh,
Yeah.
you're right. This
To be
was
fair, it's the
silly.
first time in history anyone's ever responded to a troll and won. That never happens in real life.
Don't feed the trolls.
Do not feed the trolls.
Do not feed the trolls.
And who is walking on my bridge? Nah.
That's a good place to stop, I think.